Wow, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review, Westworld Season 2, Episode 1, The Journey into Night. And we're back, finally, with some Westworld. It seemed like forever. I couldn't believe it. It hasn't quite been 2 years, but it's been damn fucking close since we've talked about some Westworld. Not since we've talked about Westworld, since we've had a new episode to talk about. I have buried myself in the sand, as I try to do when shows are in their off seasons, to try to not be spoiled to anything that might possibly happen. So I kind of went into this episode as naked as the Britpop Sizemore was in that scene. I went into this season head first, dick first, balls first, all the way in to try to get that similar kind of feeling from last season of not really understanding what I'm going to see and let the story in front of me dictate what I'm feeling. So after the first episode of the second season, I can immediately say one thing. If you have a certain feeling about Westworld Season 1, you're probably... I loved it. It was fucking awesome. I don't know how else to say it. I wanted to kind of say something a little bit more evolved, or say, oh, if you didn't like Westworld, you probably won't like this, or something, whatever. But it's exactly what the fuck I wanted. They didn't try to recreate what happened at all in last season of Westworld. Yes, there were some mystery aspects, and we're going to break that stuff down and get all up inside of that tonight, too, as we break down each point of this. But ultimately, they definitely carved out a different identity of what the feel in the tone of this season's going to be, and I like it. I like where this is going. I like the setup that we got, all these hints. I like the way that they're playing with time right now, and how time is a fluid thing because the game is over. We know where everything is and what everything's doing, so we can kind of slip around in the mind. I love everything they did with Bernard tonight. Yes, it's sort of intangible, it's goofy and silly at times and fun and the magicalness of it all, but I fucking enjoy it. This show is like candy to me. I'm eating some tasty flavor of Hershey's treats, and especially after the malaise of that other show I was talking about the last couple of fucking months, this was a wonderful awakening. I love how gory this episode was, and I like the hint of the action that we're going to get. And so, fuck all, we get a Viking in the fucking episode too. Floki, I knew he was gonna be there. I didn't expect to see him so soon, and holy shit, that guy's a great actor. Holy shit. Well, he's really good with accents or some fucking shit. Listening to him talk, his body language, completely different person. Oh my. But everybody, I'm not alone. I might be alone because Joe's not a part of this one, but that's always good because, you know, even if I like something, Joe would come in here and pee on my party, and I don't want him to pee on my party tonight. Well, what did Joe think episodes to have Joe pee on people's parties? But for today, I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna dance the Irish chick. I'm gonna dance around and be merry. One of my favorite shows is back, and it was good tonight because it wasn't exactly what I expected. It was something different. But as I said, I'm not alone. Let me bring in these awesome folks in the live motherfucking chat. We got RH, we got Mel, we've got V, we got Rob, we got Fine, we've got Analysis of Thrones, we got Steph Snow. Great to see Steph Snow there. We got Corey, we got Felicia, we got all of our friends in the live motherfucking chat tonight. Sorry if I missed anybody that's in there right now. I like how many cocks were in it. I like there was a proper amount of cocks in this episode as well. I agree. That was really awesome. I didn't expect that, Floki. I did not. It was awesome to see him. Floki looks like a giant compared to everyone else. He's a Viking amongst men. Analysis. He is huge. Oh, golly. Okay, so Westworld's back, and again, I like how it's not... It seems like it's a little bit more, there are some mysteries set up in this or that kind of aspect, but it seems like the tone of this season is less going to be about mystery and more about internal self-discovery within the hosts and defining who the fuck you want to be in this world. Fine, you get this sentience. Sentience isn't easy. It isn't fucking easy. Sometimes it's fun, not fun. It's easy to take the pill, be a lemming sometimes, just go through the loops, but you see in each of our main character hosts that were going to ride with their journey this season, ride with a lot of their journeys this season. But as you go on those missions, you can see these characters start to develop and trying to figure the fuck out who they are as individuals without all this shit, without being forced to be reset, to be flashy thinged, whatever. And I like that, and it's going to set up differences between them. We're already seeing it with Teddy and Dolores and some other aspects. It's really fucking awesome. Hey, great to see Zoe's movie and makeup. Connor, Felicia, no question, Britpop was the MVP of the episode. Sizemore was great. They definitely used Sizemore for good effect. Maeve, and that's the thing about Maeve, comparatively to some of the other hosts in this situation. Maeve seems to not want to have as much bloodthirsty, wanting to kill humans situation going on because of how she was first released. She has some positive feelings towards humans on some level. Whereas Dolores is just a crazy motherfucker. You know, Dolores is going to be turned into the angel of death. Dolores was Dolores Ed in this one. The Bernard Arnold switch is really blowing my mind. Did Ford die twice? Well, young Ford died in this episode too. I love how he shot young Ford. All the stuff with Bernard and the flashes with his mind and his whole thing was the stuff that I can't wait to rewatch because I could just judge it now in this first viewing more from a surface standpoint. More Men in Black. Oh, Ed Harris rules. I want more of him. He was incredible. And I love... And then we mix in his agenda of him understanding the person he is in this new world, finally getting to play the game he wanted to play this whole time. That scene with him and young Ford, okay. If I'm getting into nitpicky situations, the scene with him and young Ford I thought was exceptionally well done, acted back and forth. I didn't need the Anthony Hopkins voice in there too, just to kind of, that was a little hand-holdy. Because there was like 3 moments in that scene. Okay, if you don't remember this character from last year, this is young Ford. And then let's put Anthony Hopkins' voice on top of it. And then beyond that, let's make sure we have the Man in Black call him Robert. So there was just a little nitpicky moment. That was probably my most little... Okay, there's my criticism. That was one part where I was like, oh, come on. If someone doesn't know he's Ford, let them figure that out themselves. You don't have to hold hand that to the point of putting Anthony Hopkins' voice in there. But it sounded a little bit like Ultron or something. I am Anthony Hopkins. I will kill you right now where you stand, Men in Black. This game is for you. It's fucking great though. I liked it. Charlotte is dead. Hope she finds those 2 human guys again. I hope. I don't watch Westworld. Just coming through to show some love. Lots of love to Gray Area and lots of love. I can't wait to be doing a podcast with Gray Area coming up pretty soon. I'm very, very excited about that. Lots of love to Gray. And Steph, know your brain hurt. My brain hurts. My body hurts. I'm in amazing condition right now. Is it wrong that every time I see Dolores, I fall on my back and Pete and say, hurt me. There's a couple of times in this episode where I definitely had moments like that. Dolores said it ends with her and Teddy, but would it really be William since Teddy inspired him? Very interesting, fine. I don't know. I don't think Teddy's going to be able to go with Dolores on this mission. And it does seem like in scenes from next week that William, or at least past William, because time is not really a thing in this fucking show. Time's going to be a fluid object that we're going to be flash forwarding all around, and as these hosts flash back to other time points, they travel there like it exists in memories. And I'm confusing myself when I'm talking now. Did I take some mushrooms? I mean, there's some on my desk. Did I put those in my drink instead of drinking beer? Am I drinking mushrooms right now? I don't know. A couple times in this episode, I did think that. But I do think, as I mentioned, that things are going to be a little bit more clear this season. I think there's a few litterings of fun shit sprinkled about. But ultimately, I think everything that's going to be a thing this season is sort of being set up in this episode in a good way. I also like how everything we saw in the trailer was basically from this episode. So then I like when they do that, and so there's so much to look forward to, and ultimately from this point, and less to predict, because I think when we look back here, there'll be a lot of the dialogue that symbolizes shit that ends. Whoa, what the fuck am I talking about? I feel like when I start talking about this show, I feel like I'm one of those dudes sitting on the mountain at the end of a rave that's still fucked up when everyone's coming down. He's the only guy talking. He's like, dude, when the sunshine hits the window tops on the moonlight day, Batman's eyes go inside Rudolph's cries, and then I go over to my co-host and say, co-host, what do you got to say?
Heck, Phil, I think the show is amazing.
I think you're right, Goofy.
I think you're right, Phil. I love you, Goofy. I love you, Phil.
You're a much better co-host. Oh, wait. You're a much better co-host than Joe.
I know.
Fuck you, Goofy. I love you, motherfucker. You're a great guy. Okay. So, Jimmy Olsen Blues, I love you too, motherfucker. And Phil hoarding all the shrooms for himself. Shh. Stay away from my mushrooms. Apulia, great to see you. And yeah, we've almost exited all the trailer time. So I like how a lot of what happened in this episode was very familiar, and a lot of the dialogue, a lot of the points was exactly what that trailer was. Excuse me. I should have set up Goofy to talk while I took a sip of my beer. I also hate when the preview or the trailers give away too much. Steph Snow, that's one of the things I hate so much. In any trailer or anything like that, I want to be... This is me personally. Everyone has different ways that they take in entertainment, and nothing's fucking wrong. Who the fuck is this asshole, hippie-looking piece of shit that's gonna tell you how you watch shit or like to do shit? But me personally, I like to know as little as possible about a movie or a television show when going in to watch it. So I have the most real reaction, because whenever I think something's going to be one way and it's not what I think it's going to be, that's when I get all fucked up and I start being able to go, oh, this wasn't exactly what I fucking wanted it to be, you motherfucking show. Be what I want it to be.
Oh, heck, everybody. I'm sorry.
Taking shrooms and going to Westworld would be awesome. Well, at least before you could die and stuff. Excuse me, that would be one of those ultimate situations, just a day walking in the fields. Although it might be a waste of the money to get into Westworld, because if you're on mushrooms, everyone's kind of a host to you when you're walking through. Yeah, what's going on over here, hosty? Are you a host conga player? Am I in Westworld? Whoa, I spilled my beer. Hi, fairy godmother. Oh, are you a good witch or are you a bad witch? I don't fucking know. Get away from me. You're freaking me out now. So let's continue into this. Let's get into this fucking shit. So yeah. So dealing with gaining emotions and how to cope with these emotions with life forms. Dun 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 dun. All these little life forms. Pop, 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 pop. Where are you? Oh, I still want Brent Spiner to make a guest appearance on this show. Okay, so I think most of this season is going to deal with that, as they get emotions, how to deal with that, how to cope with being life forms, and the difficulties that happen with that. Also, before we get into our recap here, I have to say the HBO thing that they did at the beginning, before the episode even started, HBO did a little intro thing, and maybe this has already been out and I just missed it and haven't seen it before, but it was really fucking cool. And we got a little flash of Cersei on the Iron Throne, a couple of other things. At first I thought it was the intro to Westworld, like Westworld was taking over HBO in that moment, and I like how much... Even though I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think Westworld's it's an easy show to pick apart if you want to have some fun with it. It's an easy show to just have a piss on. I've had to sit in conversations. I haven't had it in podcasts too often, but Joe Dirty Locks, who is my co-host for the podcast, isn't the biggest fan of this show, and whenever I talk about it off camera, he'll bitch about it and talk about it. And it's an easy show to pick apart if you want to pick apart it. If you drink the Kool-Aid of this show, it's full force. But I like how much effort and push HBO gave it in this, 10 seconds till Westworld starts. And then when it was about to start, it's almost like the HBO, it was like the opening logo with the static, but then it all melted into these stringy, trippy things. Speaking of mushrooms, I felt like I was suddenly in trippy land. It was really fucking cool. Hey, Red Walrus is in there. Daniel Robinson says, one of the narratives could be doing mushrooms and figuring out how to order pizza. That would be an amazing podcast, actually. Heineken says, yeah, baby, finally have a good show to look forward to. Heineken, great to see you. I am super excited to be talking about a better fucking show. Did anyone else pick up that the parks are in China? I did not pick that up. Good pickup, Mel. I loved how they did a new intro. I was praying for a Game of Thrones season 8 photo. Is that what we got? Was that Cersei on the throne? Was that I didn't know if that was a season a flash from last season or if that was a new image. If that was a new image, fuck yeah, I saw it and I liked it. She looked cool. I was like, yeah, this fucking Cersei. They said they have the they have the Bengals in the park in 6. Must mean Manic Monday there. I'm really hoping that all the Shogun World episode has a tweaked opening. I have a feeling it will. Steph Snow says, in that intro HBO teaser, but alas, okay, so it was just recycled season 7 photo. Okay, that's what I thought, but in my imagination, I was kind of hoping it would have been something new, but it looked old to me. K. Rich said, oh, it looked old, just old nose, just fucking old nose. K. Rich says, just for old school. Critchard says, Future World has definitely foreshadowed by Dolores. Good evening to the Big E. Hendrix Anderson. Great name. I have issues. I have so many issues. I fucking have issues. Fucking came to see this asshole named Phil and show him some issues.
If you have some issues and you want to get your issues in right now, I don't know why I'm doing this silly voice, but it seemed appropriate at the moment as I'm looking into your eyes. Hi, everybody. If you want, I'll leave a voicemail. You can at 781-990-8509. Or if you're watching live, you can call in and talk to me or share your thoughts and tell me to shut the fuck up while you say what you want to say at 657-383-1435. Either way, share your thoughts about this episode of Westworld if you want, or jump in the live motherfucking chat. And if you're listening to this podcast later, join me every Sunday, or not every Sunday. There'll be a couple of weeks when I will be on vacation. I believe it'll be during episodes 5 and 6 where I have to figure out the timing of it. But other than that, every episode right after it airs for Westworld this season. The Madman Mart's in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see you. Great to see everybody. Apulia says, part of the fun of last season was the confusion and all that was real at the end. Hope this season does the same. I'm already confused. I think it's partially going to do the same with confusion, but I think it's also going to attempt, depending on your mileage may vary. I think it's going to attempt to also do it by giving you character depth, exploring crap shit. I meant it in a better way than that, but you know what I mean. Like digging into characters and what it means to have sentience and shit like that. And I also think they're going to amp up the action this season in my mind. And I think it's going to be heavy on gore and violence at times too. Not crazy gore, but I think that was a little hint that we got in this episode. I think it was it was big last season, but it felt even more, it felt stronger. Maybe it was X months of watching The Walking Dead, sissify violence here and turn violence into, or pacify and negate any bite to violence. That Westworld, when it's doing it, it really hit home in those moments. That they pulled it out even when they were digging into the host's brain and shit. That was fucking sick. And they were pulling out the brain parts and the liquids and the goo. And when he was shooting the shot, I was like, I was getting the EBGBs and shit too. And I think there's gonna be more of those moments. I think it's gonna confuse you in different ways this season of thinking of, I think, even more thriller-like kind of feelings in the show. But I could be wrong, but that's the vibe I got from tonight's episode, and the tone shift that I think it's going to be less what's going on here and more how the fuck are they going to get here and the way it gets there. And there's still going to be a couple of those questions along the way as we figure out but I think that's going to become less and less a focus of this season, and I think that will be smart on them as show creators, not to try to exactly recreate what they did in the past season and do something a little bit different. And focus on the violence. Make it fucking violent, dude. I want it violent. Oh gosh. We got Miss M. I'll get you your little dog too. Damn it, you fateless white zombie android is humping my leg again. Why? Can you keep your drone off my leg? You dirty fucking drone. Hosts have blood and other organic matter, so there's nothing preventing them from carrying DNA. With Bernard and all of that, and I think he's set up specifically to be as passing of human as possible.
Okay, so let's get into this episode, and if anyone has any questions along the way, definitely let me know in the live motherfucking chat so I can hit up on anything. There's lots of great stuff to break down in this episode. So I love that little intro. She's not real. Life is not real. So let's get right back into the recap of season 1 that we had at the beginning of the episode. I like that. And on just a bigger note, I really like how this era of television shows since Oz and Mr. Sopranos, these long dramas, I know some people might be sick of them or whatever, but I love the intros. And I think consistently Westworld is one of the best just visual intros. At times it reminds me a little of or they just all have a similar tone, this and some of the Marvel Netflix series ones. And I think another big forefront of these really cool, interesting intros came from Nip Tuck, which I thought had very cool intros as well. And at times, the Westworld intro, for some reason, I can't even explain it, it reminds me a little bit of some of because the Nip Tuck one was so different at so many times. A couple of them just, it syncs up with the bodies and the moving, and with, I sound like my grandmother, with the bodies and the moving and the Philip, with the bodies and the moving and the Westworld. What the fuck, Philip? What you watching the Westworld for, dude? Philip. Ford may have fixed Bernard. Remember, the lights stayed on when he was alone with the robots, and Ford told him to kill himself. Oh, so who knows what he did after he might have just been doing a dramatic way of having him shut down. And I like all the callbacks to some of the language, some of the terms from season 1 as well, where I'll get into it into the recap, but one of my favorite points in the episode, which was with, it's just a game. It was a game for us. It was a game for us. I don't hear anything. Or I don't hear anything, or I don't see anything. Whatever it was good. It was fucking good. Peter Dinklage. That was my first exposure to the Dink. And Joe and I often talk about that you know, if we met the Dink, we'd have to let him have sex with our women. He's just so damn charming on that show. He's just like, hey, how's it going? I'm Peter Dinklage. What's going on? I'm gonna have sex with your wife. Hey, what's up? And you're like, thanks, dude. What's going on? Come on in, Peter Dinklage. You're cool. No, he's awesome on that show. But yeah. Okay, so I assume Bernard is the super version of the host, so he has a lot more stuff added. And he's just a little bit more conditioned to come off and be able to blend a little bit better as a human because he's living in that world and a little bit more often. So Ford has direct control over him. And so that doesn't mean anything to me. Thank you, Mel. Bernard's gonna break. I almost thought Bernard was gonna break in this episode when he was a couple of moments in time. But okay, let me stop quit my barking and start my sparking and get into this shit. And Sean Allen, great to see you. And yes, rest in peace to Mini Me, Vern from Austin Powers, and I also, being a horrible reality TV show fan, remember him from The Surreal Life, where he was drunk one night and went into the corner. And he's like pissing in the corner of the carpet. And they're all coming in going, what are you doing, Vern? He's like, I'm just pissing on a carpet. And his reaction the next day is just like, well, I was drunk. He was a funny guy. Very funny dude. Very funny dude. So anyways, okay, let's get into this fucking shit. So we open up in Bernard's face. I like it. Right in Bernard's face, and where we basically started off last season with some talks. Let's get into it. Let's listen to some shit.
Oh, sorry, Dolores. I was lost in thought.
Oh, be lost, baby.
We were just talking.
What were we talking about?
You were telling me about a dream.
Yes. I dreamt I was on an ocean with you and the others on the distant shore.
Were you with us?
No. You'd left me behind. And the waters were rising around me.
What's it mean?
And that was Arnold, not Bernard, says K. Rich. So is this in a different time? That was Arnold, not Bernard. Thank you, K. Rich. Bam, bam, motherfucker. So we got a little Arnold flashback. And which leads into this line right here. You don't like that answer. And we get this.
Dreams don't mean anything, Dolores.
This thing from the trailer where
They're just
Dolores makes that
noise.
crazy face.
They're not real.
So we have this flashback to Bernard. Thank you. Great to see everyone. I'm actually new to Westworld, says Sean, besides the book and the old Peter Fonda movies. See, this is why I like doing things live. So in case I fuck things up or you just learn things and this show is confusing, I'm saying, oh yeah, everything's going to be direct. But I like how it starts out with where we started out before with her and Arnold talking, stretching that out. Dolores being creepy as fuck in that moment. It's really awesome. And again, all stuff from the trailer. The music's serene. I'm going to be... I just want to say it once now. Excuse me. And I'll try not to say it again, but I'm starting to get a little buzzed. And I'm starting... The sandwiches are starting to fill up my belly. I'm feeling really good, so I might repeat myself over and over again to say the music on this show is so fucking sick. The soundtrack, the way it leads scene to scene, and the way you could listen to the fucking music of this show and kind of listen to the way it goes, and it sets the scene of the mood of what's going on in the scene so well. It never feels, to me anyways, that like it clashes. It really enhances what's going on. This show is all senses kind of show. Well, it doesn't have smell-o-vision, and it's not touching you. So I guess it's not all senses. Fuck you, Joe. It's not. Wait. Sorry.
Actually, Phil, it's not all your senses. It's just giving your hearing and your sight. It doesn't.
That's no. I'm sorry, Goofy. I might be a fool.
Okay, Phil, you're an idiot.
I know I'm an idiot.
Okay, Phil, just want to make sure you know you're an idiot.
Okay, no one wants to hear your fucking voice, Goofy. Get the fuck out of my fucking show, you co-host son of an ass. When Dolores makes that face, I felt a compulsion to offer her an engagement ring. OTDA says 90% of this episode was the trailer stuff, which makes me happy. I was thinking that I have several times through my notes I wrote that. Most of this was in the trailer, and I like that. I like that pretty much. I don't remember much else. I'd have to rewatch the trailer. I don't remember much else from the trailer that we didn't see in this episode. I think almost everything we saw in it was in this episode, which is really cool. But yeah, it was really fucking awesome. And the music, even when we got into that song, The Entertainer, it just fits so well to the scene. We've seen that scene so many times with Dolores riding horseback, killing people and stuff. And we've seen it to other music. We've seen it to Heart-Shaped Box. We've seen it to the Sammy Davis Jr. song in the first trailer. So it was interesting to see it in the context of the episode to such a happy tune like the Entertainer song. Steph says, you caught the concert tour last year. He's a genius. I totally recommend going this year if you get a chance. I know it's different score, but the music is awesome. I love shows like that. I was lucky enough to go to one of those Star Trek ones, and I was upset that I missed that. I also went to a Zelda one once as well. So I'm like, those things, those music like shows with the soundtracks. I'm sounding like my grandma tonight. Philip, the music soundtrack thingies. But yeah, I've been to a couple of them. I was upset that I missed that one, so I'll have to go to that at some point. And Peach Schnapps, I'm jealous as well, Steph. And thank you so much to everyone in the live chat that's joining us tonight. Us by us, I mean, of course, me and Goofy.
Thanks, Phil, for having me.
I appreciate you being here, Goofy. And for the people listening to the audio cast, it's amazing. Goofy is literally on our screens tonight. It's amazing. So make sure you join us live so you too can talk to Goofy. Who doesn't like Goofy? Okay, so let's continue here. So they're talking about a lot. They're talking just about discovering their consciousness. And so Bernard, again, from the trailer, he says, "You're frightening me," and that smile freaks out. Okay, so then we get a flash, or not Bernard, Arnold. So then we get a flash of... Then we get into Bernard. We see like a mind fuck situation. We get into some trippiness, and we see what happened to Ford. We see the flashback to what happened last season, and Bernard's losing his shit, and this is where I think we get into Bernard, where we see him losing his consciousness, or losing his shit while he's gaining his consciousness, knowing how much pain he is, which harkens back to the season 1 scene with him and Ford, where Ford keeps Men in Black flashy thinking him, getting him with the flashy thingy and erasing his memory. And it's just a really cool transition that was one of those, for the 5th time in this podcast, mentioning a very mushroomy, like, tripping thing that if I was at that stage in my life watching this show like that is a good frame of mind to watch Westworld sometimes, because there's fucked up visuals. You're like, whoa, dude, that's fucking cool, man. And it was cool. It was just some really cool visual shit going on. And if they keep doing that stuff, that's other ways to just increase and raise up the texture and raise up the other elements of the show as it goes on for this 5-season arc that they talk about, which I do think HBO is going to give them regardless of ratings or not. But whatever, that's just me, motherfucker. We're all going to be shocked again this season. I can tell. I agree with that too. I think some things are going to happen. Don't get me wrong when I say things are going to be as they seem to a certain extent. I think there's going to be a couple of moments this season where something's going to come out of nowhere. And I think they're going to lull us into a sense of thinking we know what's going on, and then something's going to be slapped across our face that we couldn't possibly imagine. That's why the prediction or the trying to put on my Miss Cleo hat to figure out what's going to happen this season, I think is futile, because I don't think it's possible. I think ultimately it's going to be something that I couldn't even possibly expect. Evan Rachel Wood's acting in that scene where she was hanging those people was a step up a peg from last season, in my opinion. I think her in general, she has a lot more command of who Dolores is, and I think that's a credit to the story and even a credit to her as an actor, where last season she was trying to play an emotion that's a difficult thing to pull off and make it stick. And when you're playing confused and unsure of your feelings, that's just a tough thing to play and not seem uncommitted. And I think she did an excellent job last season at doing that. But the Dolores we get in this season is much more in command to a certain extent of what she wants to do. I don't think we're completely, as the audience, at the disposal of the kitchen, in the know of understanding what Dolores' ultimate plan is. But I do think she has one in her direct consciousness, and it's giving Evan Rachel Wood, I think, something more to hold on to. And I think also her confidence. Some people play better when they know they have the contract. Some people play better when they're trying to struggle. I think her knowing the show is success and has an audience is even making her just dig in, and she wants to be like really awesome. And I think she was in this episode. I feel that too. She is a fucking force of nature when she's on screen, and you can tell that. I don't know if it's going in this direction. This is no spoiler. This is my Miss Cleo time. All the hosts might have to join together to stop Siler here. You know, like all the heroes might have to join together to stop her, because she might go next level fuck. She wants to invade the real world and mass fucking exodus, mass destruction, mass murder of all the fucking stupid humans. Stupid human. She's like that robot in Knights of the Old Republic. I want to kill all the meatbags. Sorry, analysis. I'm triggering you with Knights of the Old Republic. But whatever. Okay. I wasn't sure how I felt about the tiger, but let's be honest. It was initially more upsetting to see it dead than the host. But did it look too fake? I'd have to rewatch it. it I don't think it looked particularly real. It didn't make me feel. I realized I was rhyming there. It wasn't too real. It made me feel. I'm like a bad beat poet now. It's like, let me play my bongo. Oh, it made me feel real. I didn't feel the human explosion of my inside entrails. Hits with nails. All Dolores needs is 3 dragons and she's odd. Hendrix says, Dolores acts almost identical in this season to young William when he started to get badass at the end of season 1. I'm very interested, and we did see that previewed into next week, that I'm excited that we are going to see more of young William in the stage in between where we see him in season 1 and obviously when he becomes Ed Harris, when that transformation happens. But I like that we're going to see him in a transitional time period as well. Fine says, when they showed Dolores killing that host, I thought some of the hosts would have to turn against her to survive. I do think it's going to go in that direction. Sorry, analysis. Recount. Love you, Tom. So then we get a flash of Bernard getting mind fucked and losing his shit. So then the screen just goes to black for a second, and it's like that Spinal Tap album. And speaking of going to 11, and then we eventually get to the security team, and Stubbs, is that his name? I'm blanking on his name, and I think it's Stubbs, or we'll call him Helmsworth number 3, and sorry, I'm having trouble with my little recorder here. Helmsworth number 3, and Bernard washes up in the water, and they thought he was dead. And we, what's kind of neat in this scene, Bernard, is when Bernard gets washed up in the water, and they're like, "Oh no, don't shoot him! Don't shoot your boss." One of the guards looks up, and she's got a Bernard trading card. It's a priority status trading card. Tops Bernard trading card. Get them today. I want one of those fucking trading cards, motherfucker. Let's do a little bit more of this. So the security team finds them, and you're seeing the aftermath of the Ford situation, and as we start to get into the real time of all this. Bernard is on a cool looking dune buggy thing. I want to ride one of those dune buggy things. This looks fucking fun. Oh, they look fucking amazing. I want it. It's awesome. Helmsworth number 3, but he's the oldest one. Yeah, we'll stick with Helmsworth number 3. I think I called him Ugly Helmsworth last season, but who am I to talk? I'm Ugly Podcasting host number 7. You know, who the fuck am I? Who the fuck is this asshole? OTDA. Oh snap. How about this for a thought? Teddy versus Dolores at the end of this season, like Army versus Army. He leaves Dolores to kill and heads to the fight against what she's doing. Ironic host may be on its way. She does say it ends up with you and me, Teddy. That could mean many things. It could not necessarily mean they end up in love. It could mean that they end up against each other, like Lopan and Jack Butler at the end of Big Trouble in Little China. It could be the final battle. I'm so glad I remembered his name. No, it wasn't a trading card. It was like a computerized trading card. She pulled out this little computer projector deck. It was a projector card, but the way it looked when they projected it, it looked like if you're playing a sports video game and you have like the player cards and stuff, and you're scrolling through the player cards, and it looked like she was looking at a Bernard trading card. But no, they're not. But that being said, now that I say that, I bet there'll be merchandising. No one ever accused HBO of not taking advantage of merchandising. Get your very own Oz Shank. You want to feel like you're in Oz? Get your own retractable shank. Only at HBO.com. I could have gone a lot bluer there with the Oz reference, but I guess shank works. And thank you, Felicia. Thank you. Appreciate that love. Appreciate all you guys that are watching live. Logan will be in next episode. I can't wait to see him. See Logan.
Oh, thank you, Steph Snow, and thank you, Felicia. You guys are fucking amazing. And I was like, what? Yeah, wait, is that an Uno deck? Says Steph Snow. Steph, you crack me up. Okay, so Bernard is, he's in a cool looking dune buggy. There's security everywhere, more coming in. They look for plans. They see the Death Star computer thing, and a couple of Star Wars things when they see the Death Star computer monitor screen thing. They walk past. We see lots of hosts. We see Simon being shot, and apparently they didn't like this season of The Walking Dead either, so they shot Simon down as Bernard has to walk through and see all his people getting shot. And then we see Floki. Like right away, Floki shows up and sounding so different. If I was to tell you guys that this is fucking Floki, listen to this shit. Listen to Floki.
Have them sign an NDA and then please escort them off my fucking island. Yes, sir. Mr. Lowe, good to see you. So the circumstances are less than ideal. Carl Strand, head of operations. Walk with me. You're executing them? Some say you destroy your enemy by making them your friend. I'm more of a literal person. Some of them aren't hostile. Of course they are.
Good fucking question, fine. And I'm drinking Almagang Hennypin, Tom.
All you built them to be like us, didn't you? Given the nature of your work, I'd understand you'd be a little conflicted about what we have to do here. Of course, the cynics among us will say much of this falls on our head of behavior.
With all due respect, sir, you weren't here.
Mr. Stubbs, if I want input from the man who presided over the single biggest loss of life at Adelo's property,
I'll be sure to let you know.
Now, we have search and rescue teams at the other parts. I'm here because, as far as we know, this is where most of the board was when the incident began. However, communications have been down for 2 weeks, so...
Question: what is with the wolf? It's a symbol that the Starks of Winterfell have returned, and they had Summer on loan from I don't know. There wasn't the random direwolf. I think I have that in the notes somewhere, so we'll get to the direwolf at some point. But that's a good damn question. But suddenly Katie Wolf pops up and she's in the scene or Bran wargs into the scene and goes, "Hey, we're filming. It's the crossover people have wanted. People have wanted that Game of Thrones Westworld crossover. You got it tonight, and reporting it first here on the Issues program. You know, all those other people, you'll see it in one of those Easter egg videos on the big channels. But no. Check it out. You heard it here first, motherfuckers." Okay, so yeah, and what the fuck? I don't know how Stubbs survived that either. But Floki, who's being set up as our I'm not gonna say our bad guy, because I think there is no bad guys or good guys on this show, but as our Delos representative, because I think Charlotte is dead girl walking. Hey, hi, dead girl. So let me
in the dark, and that's not a position I'm accustomed to.
Analysis of the Throne, Super Chat donation.
How happy I was when I heard that we found you. Unless, of course, you're gonna hold out on me.
Public service announcement from Analysis of the Thrones. 4 more episodes till Shogun World. Takuna Fumaba.
What analysis said? You can read it. I'm not gonna try to destroy the language. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to my friends. Kill you. It did legit look like Nymeria. It looked like early season Nymeria. It might have been the same person. It landed on you pick analysis. So whatever you want. Tom's screaming shot. No one wants that. Sorry for that long extended pause, especially people in the audio. That was me taking a sip. I know you want to listen to that when you're listening to a podcast. Yeah. Here's me drinking something. Yeah. You like that, don't you, audio people? You like it. Tenka Fubu. It's a tie into Game of Thrones. But yeah, it's a tie into Game of Thrones and Westworld. Yes, it is. Yeah, I think Charlotte's dead person walking. I don't think she's long for this world. So we see Floki. He's wanting Bernard to give him all the information. We also get the timetable in this scene. It's been 2 weeks.
Helmsworth is definitely loyal to, Stubbs, I'm sorry. I don't know what Floki's name is, so if I refer to these people as Helmsworth or Floki, you guys, some people might not know what I mean. But I mean the Delos dude, okay? And I'm going to call the Delos dude Floki from now on until he's off the show. Until he has an untimely death at the end of this season, or maybe he's a long-term character. I don't know. I think he is human fodder for one of our hosts. But what I think Dolores is going to do something very, very horrible to him. I don't know where I'm pulling that out my ass, but I think it's going to happen. But I'm gonna be calling his Floki. His mother named him Floki. I'm gonna call him Floki. Okay. So fucking motherfucker. Okay, so third Helmsworth is there, and we find out it's been about 2 weeks since the time of Ford shooting himself, or getting Dolores to shoot him, or Dolores doing it on her own. So Bernard goes to look at a body, and Floki follows to look at a certain body, and it's one specific guy. I think it's one of the Ghost Nation dudes, and they need to know immediately what's in his mind. Open your mind, Quaid. Open your mind. They need to know what's on the dude's mind. They need to know it now. Phil put a suit on for Westworld and sandwiches. I always do it. Floki, Ugly Thor. Get with the code names, people, says Alan. In fairness, I'm wearing like a t-shirt and jeans too, so it's not really a suit. It's cold. I wanted to wear just the t-shirt, but it was too cold, and I don't have a middle jacket. It was either this or the winter jacket, and all the sweatshirts are dirty. So it's like a default dressed up sort of situation. Or no, not even dressed up. It's a Monet, dude. If you look closely, I'm really fucking dirty, dude. So those bodies were in the sun for 2 weeks, I guess. So it probably stinks, Steph. Ugh. I think that's what I heard. I think that's what I heard. I'm not sure if that's what I heard. I'm pretty sure they said it's been 2 weeks. How long? Oh, again, is that another Total Recall thing? How long are you gonna be on Mars? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I think I have it on number 9. Let's see.
Get friends here and see if we can figure out how this fucking mess began.
Bam, bam. Oh, maybe it did. I thought somewhere in that. I think I might have missed it, but I think right around there is what he says. It's been 2 weeks. Whatever. It's I'd have to rewatch. Mel says Anthony Hopkins has been better. OTDA says okay. They did say 2 weeks for sure. Cool. Tom. So Ford is like confirmed dead. So much for Ford was the host theory. Yeah, I think Ford is confirmed dead. I think that still doesn't mean the other part of that theory could possibly be true, Felicia. One that we threw out, I think I threw it out on the season finale podcast last year. That Ford possibly could make a Ford host, and that we could see that yes, Ford is dead, but he was also making a host of himself that will show up again at some point in time in the future. I would not be surprised about that. Yeah, maggots in the eyes, dead, confirmed. So Floki looks at the body and tells the guy to find out what's on the dude's mind. So then we get the toolkit, which looks like serial killer's cutty stab thing, and he cuts open the head, and this is just gross and sick and squirts. The sounds there's sounds and weird shit. They look at the maze. It's like, what does that mean? I don't care. I'm gonna throw that thing away. That's no one gives a shit about that anymore. It's not a clue. It doesn't mean shit. And we get the gross brains opening up and shit, and God, I was like, And yeah, what Ford was doing is he's making like the T-1000 version of himself. We're gonna get the Ford 1000 to come out, who's made of a liquid alloy, but also full emotional counterpart, and can morph into different any host he wants at any time. It's amazing. Steph Snow says, okay, so 2 weeks enough time for Arnold to
for Arnold to change clothes, kill Charlotte, and end up on the beach, or Bernard to kill Charlotte and end up on the beach. K-Rich says Ford was making the Ford 150 in the secret room. 2 weeks, Total Recall. Yeah, exactly, Madman. So does the army guy confirm where it is, like what country it is? Someone said in the live chat earlier, I'm sorry, I don't remember who said it, but someone I thought mentioned that there was something in the episode that hinted that this place was close to China, but I don't know. I missed that moment in the episode, so if you're still in the live chat, answer for your crimes. Up against the wall. But yeah, Gore was up to par. Gore was fucking sick. I love it. So we get the toolkit, we get the cracking the brain open, like cracking the egg, we get pushing shit out of the brain and disgusting, like plugging it out, polish, and then he polishes the little brain recorder things that they have inside their heads. He polishes it like a turd and he plugs it in and tries to hear what it says. And looks at it. What do you got to say? And they watch what's going on, and we see Dolores kicking some fucking serious ass. And some guy, and they go, isn't she supposed to be like the welcome wagon? Isn't she like the happy person? Oh. Don't kill me.
I told you.
Felicia says, looked like an Asian military dude, so I say the park is in Asia. K-Rich says they kicked Chinese troops off. OTDA says, I thought he was even speaking Mandarin, if I'm not mistaken. Iron Throne says, given the weather in the park, what part of Asia might have that weather? I think they are in a Ryzian-like controlled weather environment that's an inside force, so they can control the weather. So I don't think that's necessarily affected, but I could be wrong about that. But I do think they're in an enclosed area. Yeah, the climate controlled. I think they have that area. I think they can control all that shit from the central command. I could be incorrect about that, but I do think they have weather controls. Yeah, we do need geologists to answer that question if we're really breaking this down. So if anyone's watching this later, and I'm wrong, which I probably have been wrong, if anyone's watching this after the season's aired, which is a really funny thing to do, and see how wrong I am in this podcast for the things that eventually happen at the end of the season, that's going to be fun. We do need some Charlotte truthers. Wait, I keep talking about all this talk about the Man in Black and these weird things. Can't help but make Lost references, Ian. Oh my goodness. So isn't she the cheesy welcome wagon? Floki says this is a different game now, and Bernard feels the Dolores in him and has a flashback to being trapped in the barn with some people trying to break in right after everything happened. It's with Charlotte. Charlotte's there, and sometimes sometime in the 2 weeks, we see the like a total bloodbath. Simon is there doing some funny things, doing some Simon stuff. Then they head out with Bernard and Charlotte, head out the barn without some other folks. They start complaining about being trapped. And we meet this guy that's just dead man walking. This dude.
Call the insurance.
I'm dead.
Yes.
Hi, I'm dead.
I'm gonna fire the lot of them. We're on our own for now. There's gotta be an outpost near here. You're management, aren't you? Where's the nearest access point?
About 2 miles northeast. Refurbishment outpost.
So what the fuck are we waiting for?
And somewhere in this scene, we see Bernard feeling something wet coming from his head. And that's never a good thing. When wet things are secreting from your head. I mean, unless it's just sweat. But no, this is like that weird... We saw the brain goo earlier in the episode, so this is coming back. I called Trevor Simon. Oh, we got Broke Black Man 94 in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see Broke. And let's continue here just to get through this scene right here. So
they want to go, but they beat his ass down, and then Bernard is feeling the call, feeling something wet from his head, some liquid. Charlotte gets him out of there and says, don't be a hero. So then we get the song The Entertainer, as I mentioned earlier. This song, I'll play it for a few seconds if I can. And we're at Pallet Town, at Sweetwater, and we see the happy song. We see Dolores murdering people, and it's to this fucking happy tune. It's oh, Uncle D in the live chat too. Great to see Uncle D. It's always a good time when Uncle D's here. Hey, Phil, the motherfucking chat, just from Mexico. Can't wait to see the first episode of season 2. I hope you have a good time, my friend. It's all right. It's you might like it. It's okay. I fucking loved it. And I hope, and I'm like, I hope you do too. But if you don't, please let me know what you thought in the comment section after you watch the episode. I can't wait to hear your thoughts as always, Uncle D. And so then we get the song The Entertainer, and we get the bar with then we get Dolores has a prisoner, and this is when Dolores gets all fucking creepy. I mean, she's rivaling Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction here, and because she's saying it in such a calm, fucking creepy motherfucking way that's freaking me out here. As you imagine Dolores being on you, getting ready to kill you, and I can't help but thinking like K. Rich is thinking like I know some other people, marry me, Dolores, as you kill me. It's a bad, awful way to go, but golly, oh my. Let's listen to a little bit of Dolores.
Do you know where you are?
You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die.
Do you know where you are?
You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die.
Please. You're in a dream.
Oh.
You're in my dream.
Yeah, robots, bitches. Robots are gonna kill your ass. I'm killing you. I'm a robot, bitch.
For years, I had no dreams of my own. I moved from hell to hell of your making, never thinking to question the nature of my reality. Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality? Did you ever stop to wonder about your actions? The price you'd have to pay if there was a reckoning? That reckoning is here. What are your drives?
Please, I don't want to die, please.
Yes. Survival. It's your cornerstone. That's not the only drive, is it?
Makes me thirsty. If any more words come.
There's a part of you that wants to hurt, to kill. That's why you created us. This place. To be prisoners to your own desires. But now you're a prisoner to mine.
What are you going to do to us?
Well, I'm of several minds about it.
Fucking creepy as shit. Several minds about it. One part of her. But this is just her fucking with these people. She's having fun. She sees the possibilities, but then the other part of her just wants to stick the bullet in your motherfucking mouth and pull the trigger. But there's no bullet. There's no bullet because she doesn't want to kill him like that. And it's not that she's letting them go. It's not that she's just fucking with them. I mean, it's just that she's fucking with them. She's making him piss his pants and poop his pants and then hang out there until he can no longer stand up and ultimately hang himself. It's even more horrible than shooting him in the mouth.
Under all these lives I've lived, something else has been growing. I've evolved into something new.
I'm a robot, bitch. I'm gonna kill you all. I'm gonna kill you all.
All these robot bitches
Myself.
be bucking on my mommy. Says Madman. And then we get some cold ass shit right here.
Just a game. We're begging. Can't you see? We're sorry.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, what?
Doesn't look like anything to me.
Unlimited power. And Dolores rides off, cold fucking blooded, evil robot shit. Mel says wearing heels is torture enough. Trust me. Awesome, Felicia. Analysis. We didn't toast analysis. I'm picking everyone where if you have a drink wherever you did for analysis super chat donation, hold up your drink. Toast to Analysis of Thrones and Shogun World coming up very, very soon. And let's all drink for analysis. Yes, from a straw. Deal with it. So, okay. So then it's a big straw. It's a big. You took it from, but it's a big straw. Oh, don't make my co-host step in here. He's gonna make fun of me. Oh, heck, Phil, you're just a big dumbass drinking your beer from a straw. Oh, you wouldn't see Goofy do that. Shut the fuck up and stay the fuck away from me. I always want that, Felicia. Even if you have to leave a voicemail, if a drunk Felicia voicemail or call in would be awesome. So keep piling the drinks on. Keep on. We got a long way to go. We got a good way to go here. Okay, so let's continue here. We see several mines and she leaves them, and now back to Sweetwater as it's bodies everywhere, and one rolls another off of him, and it's our hero of the show, the Man in Black, who sees a dire wolf robot that looks around, and the game is on. And okay, so we get all the hosts in our main narrative of the season that I think is going to be, as I mentioned, the hosts discovering their sentience and discovering what kind of fucking people they want to be, what kind of androids they want to be, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if they'd find me calling them people fucking offensive. Fuck you, fucking android assholes. So these androids, whatever, they're going to be discovering what kind of androids they want to be. What kind of hosts. They're not hosts anymore. I don't know the nomenclature here. Whatever they want to be. And I think that's going to be a main dynamic of the season. Then the other thing is going to be William and the Men in Black. I'm very curious how that connects to the storyline. He can't just be, I don't think he's just going to be a secondary character that is going around engaging in the game. I know the game is for him now. We had that scene with him and Ford. I think some of the mystery of where his arc's going to go, of whose arc's going to go where in the season, lays to me in Ed Harris's Men in Black, the old William. I'm very curious to see where they take his character, because there's a lot of possibilities, and I don't think it can be just as simple as now he's going to be loving being in this kind of world, because they can play that for a while, but he has to have some end goal and some connection to the main narrative storyline. And I'm curious how that's all going to wrap around. And I know because he's part of Delos, that's going to become a factor as well. So I'm very curious, and Ed Harris is fucking sick in this scene. He's doing some of his best work, and it's really awesome to get to see him, and hopefully he'll get an even bigger role now this season to have even more focus, because the more he's on screen, the happier I am. Yeah, go Raiders, Tyrion. Chucky's back. Nicholas. And Men in Black is going to go from villain to hero. I could see that happening, Felicia. I absolutely could see something happen. Men in Black has to kill Dolores. Men in Black I'm not even joking. I'm speaking. I was going to say ironic. I'm speaking somewhat
facetiously a little bit about our hero, but he is our fucking hero. Oh, thank you, Mel. Thank you for pushing it, Mel. Thank you to everyone in the live motherfucking chat. Did I get something wrong in the show, or there are two Bernards? Jenny, one is Arnold in the past, and one is Bernard. Everything on the beach and everything in the barn is Bernard, the android, the host. And the scene that we got in the beginning with Dolores in the lab is Arnold. So, yeah, there's that. And oh, I love it. AJ Gonzalez, great to see AJ Gonzalez in the live chat. Great to see all of you people. The Green Valley is not for all of you, Phil. Men in Black, aka RoboCop. So what does this story ends with us means at the very end? Alex, that's a good question. We were speculating that a little bit earlier too. It could mean that because Teddy seems like he might be one of the hosts that even when he discovers doesn't really believe as much in violence when it really comes down to it. And as he figures out who he is, maybe he is completely polar opposite of what Dolores wants, and this creates a conflict between the two of them. And it has to end between the two of them in some sort of conflict. It could also mean that all the other hosts are killed and they're the last two left. Who knows? Or it could all just be bullshit spouting out of Dolores's mouth right now. It's hard to know, and that's what's freaking awesome about this show and keeps me engaged in it. Because again, I drink the fucking Kool-Aid. Oh yes, I always forget to say that for some reason, or I shouldn't forget to say it. But when you subscribe, or if you are subscribed, make sure you all also click that bell so you'll know whenever we go live and you can join us live. You should get a notification there, or when we ever post a video and stuff as well. So thank you so much to everyone in the live motherfucking chat right now. We're not done yet, but I also always love to say my thanks. I can never say enough thanks. Steph Snow says there was a scene where Charlotte discovers all the Bernards. Maybe there is more than one robot. Oh, interesting. I missed that. Steph Snow, very interesting. I kind of got a little confused or a little bit because when I'm like looking down, taking notes and missing things. I'm very interested on going for a second viewing. I might, whenever this podcast is over, before crashing this evening, immediately watch it for a second time. I started at Nerdiotic. I came late to this party because I already started at Nerdotic earlier. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. Lots of love to everybody. Oh, yes. Get that bell. Stick that bell in inappropriate places in my pocket. Get that bell in my pocket. If you see me, you have permission to put a bell in my pocket. That's my promise to you. So then we roll off. We see the direwolf. I don't know what the direwolf meant. It was interesting, and nothing is without meaning on a show like this. Even if the meaning is just to have a piss and have fun and throw you off. And there's some symbolism, maybe it could be as simple as the obvious of Ed Harris being the lone wolf, the last human of the pack left, that he'll be the last human alive in the park, where so you see a single wolf where they're usually running packs. I don't know. I'm just making shit up, but I'm just putting shit from the can. I'm just sitting on the toilet thinking of ideas right now. Steph asks, did you guys catch the maze that was on the Indian who was clicking over into consciousness, and the police were like, what the fuck? They hadn't seen the maze before. Yeah, and it was almost like an aside. I didn't know how to read that scene. Whether that was a little way of a little wink and nod from the show creators that, oh, that's last season. Don't worry about that, because it was almost an aside. What's that? I don't know. Move it along. Or if that's going to come back later because the maze isn't for the humans. The maze is about the hosts discovering consciousness, and that was really last season's arc. So I don't see the maze having much significance this season. So I think it was maybe just I think this term's overused, but I think maybe just like an Easter egg for last season stuff to be like, oh yeah, that's last season. It doesn't, the humans can't understand this. Moving on. But it could come back. I could be wrong about that, but I did catch that. Robo Jimmy versus Robo Ed Harris. I would love that. Gets a little confusing with the Bernard and Arnold. It's likes to jump from past memories to present time. AJ, and I think they're going to probably do that a lot more this season. I think that's going to be a big part of this season. They're going to do a lot more time jumps. I'm getting that feeling. And with a lot more characters, a lot more vibes. And I go by seeing what we saw in the preview for next week, where we see more of young William and Logan's stuff. So it'd be cool. I think that meant they are unaware that the host can click over. Interesting. See, I fucking love doing this show live with you guys, and I love hearing your reactions, and I love hearing everyone's different perspectives about the show. And if you're watching this later as well, you can see the live chat to the right or even on the screen in the little overlay thing we got going on. So make sure you share your thoughts in the comment section. And that's the one thing I also hope that gets added as a feature to the live chat replay, an ability to not just in live streams leave a comment, but leave a chat in real time that can like timestamp it in there and pop it in the chat and stuff. Similar to, again, I think Twitch or other like SoundCloud does something like that as well, where if you're watching live, you can pop the chat in the timestamp. So blah 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 blah. No one gives a shit about that. But for right now. Fuck you, Phil. For right now, you could if you're listening to this later or if you're listening to the podcast, send me a comment, send me a question. I got issues man on Twitter. I got issues man at gmail.com, or leave a comment on this video on YouTube. Okay, so the fuck. So now we see our hero who sees a dire wolf, looks around, and the game is on. He finds his horse, talks to his horse. Says, hey, buddy, we're about to have an adventure.
What the fuck is happening here? Where's QA? You guys have always played fast and loose with this lace. Let me tell you something. By the time my lawyers get...
Oh, with the fucking game's on, motherfuckers. The game is on, motherfuckers. Oh, it's a left. There's a right. It's a left from Larry. It's a left from Teddy. Teddy's not punching. No, Teddy's not even in the scene. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Fuck me. We're fucked. We're so fucked now. So it's a lot of fucking cool action in this scene. He's able to shoot one by using one of the two guys as a shield to block the bullets. Kills one of the hosts and then slits the other one's neck in a very awesome, gory kind of moment. Just splatter house kind of vibe. It was just really cool, really awesome action scene. Shot well at Harris or stunt team, stunt coordinators, whatever. It was filmed well, looked cool. Not too much shaky cam stuff. Visually, I could kind of follow what was going on. I don't mind a little bit of that to allow stunt people to do their fucking shit, but I do hate it when certain shows, fucking asshole dead, make it impossible to see the action of what's the fights going on, like the Simon Negan fight in this past season of The Walking Dead, as an example of what I'm talking about, where it's completely impossible to see what the hell's going on. In this moment, I could tell and figure out the fighting. That's how you shoot a scene. You want to throw in some shaky shit, throw it in, but it was just a well-shot action scene. Nothing super special. Oh no, let's coronation, Westworld's great show ever, because they can film an action scene good. No, if you have a show that has elements of action, you should. Sorry, I looked behind me. I saw the Klingon behind me. I got scared, and I saw my hat, and I like put my hat on, and I got fucking scared. So but yeah, it's not. I think it should be important. You know, if you have a show that's one of the main focuses is on action and violence, to film it well, but whatever. Okay, so I was wondering what did Broke say? Nicholas Bryant says the plot arc could be world conquest, but they underestimate the size of the park. I think that too, and I think when it really comes down to it, it's going to be that aspect. I don't think we're going to see any of the. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think we're going to see the invasion happen until next year. It's Felicia says, I was pretty much glued to the screen. I don't know how I missed anything except for the minute it took me to make a picture of my cat being adorable. That 1 minute mattered, apparently. And thank you, buddy. And Felicia needs more wine. Get Felicia more wine. Not sure of the extent of the redemption, but there is no way he'll stay evil, says Tom himself. I hate to redemption stories. I like my villains to stay bad. I don't mind my villains changing over to another side if it makes sense for their characters and they don't lose what's good about them. If the man in black, Ed Harris, ultimately becomes not a redemption in the way that he makes up for anything he's done before, but when he becomes the lesser of two evils, or someone that you can root for because he's just still kicking around and still is the same character you remembered, and I'm trying to think of some examples, and they're flashing on in my head. I guess I keep going to like Elam Garrick or something like that from Deep Space Nine, and someone that could be gray and could be villainous at times, but crossover. But that's even a bad example because Garrick's always gray. He's never good or bad, and you could argue that the Man in Black was, a negative force in season 1, but I do see him being someone that at times this season, I don't think redemption or good guy are terms that I'd ever use in this show, except for when I'm being an idiot and say something quick. But I would say that I think there's going to be times this season where we relate and where the Man in Black is the character that surprises us, where we connect to him because of the way he makes it out of situations. I don't see him die. I see Ed Harris being on this show a long time, as long as the show's on, and somehow surviving through this shit. And I could be wrong about that, but it's, again, an old Clint Eastwood kind of way, an unforgiving Clint Eastwood way. So I would love to see an older Logan. Phil is getting ready to go to Westworld. I hope, Alan. I'm thinking about starting a Just Fund Me. Everyone does them. I want to start one too. The Just Fund Phil's trip to Westworld. I guess I would have next year's South by Southwest that has the Westworld thing. I guess there is a thing I could do it, but no, I was kidding. It's a fucking joke. Alex says, I honestly don't think that any other humans know about Bernard yet, though some people were saying that Charlotte was weird to him. Yeah, I don't think anyone really knows as well. Do we mention the bad vocals of Pretain Arnold was dumb as fuck as well? Okay, so he finds his horse, he's going off, yada yada yada. He cleans his wounds. We have a cool scene with the Men in Black cleaning his wounds to the tune of the day in the life of Westworld song. I guess he got the bullet out. I didn't quite see. I think I looked down. He finds his hat like Indiana Jones, dons the hat. The bloody face, the Man in Black is here to enjoy this fucking game. He gives this smile that's not quite a smile. I don't even know how to read the look he gives, but this satisfying look, like you've been dead. Everyone's lived some stage in their life where you're going through all this shit, good or bad or whatever. Or you could be the evil force of it, or I'm not talking about who's to blame. I'm just saying you're going through a period of a clusterfuck of shit, or you're stuck in a mundane existence, and one thing happens or something happens that completely fucks everything up, and you're in this moment where you're free. And you're in a video game or whatever that you've always played and you think you're the best at in the world with one life. One life. And he's just sitting in there, and it's an awakening kind of look. And I'm not talking about the Robin Williams movie. It's not an awakenings. It was a smile, satisfied, mixed with fear. It was a very, very, very full-on look, and it touched me in inappropriate television ways. Yeah, and in a very cheesy way. The cheesy this. Dun, dun, wait, where is it? Play me some music. Play me some hero music here. Play me the best hero music my hero song. Okay, it's just creepy. See, just creepy. See, but he did it good.
Oh, I love you. I love you guys, the live motherfucking chat. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, great scene. So then we're inside, and we see the writer, and his name is Sizemore. I saw people talking in the chat, so I think I was right. I said Sizemore with a question mark. And he's freaking out. He's freaking the fuck out. Oh, wait. And he's awesome in this episode. I love that they gave him more to do even in this first episode. That at times last season his character disappeared. He's had some of the funnier moments in last season with the pissing on the map and just being and him describing some of his narratives. And with Ford gone, having someone that had a hand in a lot of the narratives is important, at least to a certain extent. And I like how he also symbolizes. I don't know what happened to I'm sure we'll see him later because we saw him in the trailer. Maeve's tech guy, the one that I thought Maeve had the connection with, but perhaps we'll see him later in the episode. But anyways, so Sizemore and Maeve seem to be there, going to be some sort of a pairing, which I think is interesting. They didn't really have a lot of connection last season, unless I'm not remembering one scene where they had a moment of interacting together. But there was some sort of connecting tissues of the two of them, where like, oh, when I got you, I'm the one that helped you out with connecting you to your new narrative, and I always knew you shouldn't have been raising a family. You were meant for more, like that sort of stuff, and just to kind of ingrain them together. But I don't mind that. I think partially the reason why they did that was just to get these two actors together, because I think they have pretty good chemistry that comes off right off the bat, that the two of them, when they're sharing dialogue, have a good back and forth, and it's really fun. Let's listen to a little bit of it.
Full tender flesh, wrapped in fear.
Oh yeah, I forgot for this. I forgot about this creepy moment where he's getting attacked. Fuck me. Fuck me.
You see, the greatest shame in life is to perish without purpose. Which is why I always consume my victims moist.
I think you've fed enough now, darling, don't you?
Oh my God! Oh, what the fuck do you think's happened to them? It's like the inmates are running the asylum. Maeve? Fuck. Freeze all motor functions.
Don't work yourself up, darling. Your commands don't work on me.
That cannibal host was a walking pile of nope. I'd hate to be shareholder right now that Sizemore got a bad shake.
Don't be jealous.
If Dolores saves all the rich people's semen and sells the sperm banks, they could make millions.
Multiple times.
You? Did you do all this?
I love that I'm not the only one who likes, yeah, that dude,
I suspect I share the sensibilities of whoever did.
Hey! Wait! Hey! You can't leave me here. The hosts, they've gone mad. No offense. Please help me.
I'm afraid it's in my code to prize my needs above all others. Pity.
Yeah, no.
I wonder who made me that way.
Please, I just need.
And he
Systems reporting normal.
Wait.
He ingrains himself to her by saying he knows he's like a big map. He knows they go in the map room. It's kind of useless, but he knows what's going on. He knows the narrative. He kind of promises her to help find the daughter, as he indirectly jokes about, oh, I remember you had a daughter and somewhere in sector 15.
I can still help. I know the park a bit.
Hey, Andy.
Can I see your paper? Sector 15. Well, not exactly for adrenaline junkies, more of a family-friendly zone. Cabins, rolling hills, all the pastoral cliches. In fact, I think you lived there for an old role. No offense, but you were wasted as a homesteader. I even saddled you with a kid or something yawn-inducingly domestic. Clearly that didn't take. I remember that you were severely malfunctioning when I inherited you.
Wait, when they see the bull and Maeve's wearing that long sweater cape, all the bulls come crashing through the glass. That could be another timeline, too. I'm such a Maeve fangirl right now. It's hard not to be. Okay, so he's getting shit-talked, so she won't help, and not sure he's going to help her. As they're heading to the restricted area, he leads her somewhere to a very red room, like Central Command, and everyone's dead. And the big map is also there. A bear is in there as well. And then we see that the map is useless for her, and he's trying to charm her and look at the try to help her find Sector 15, as I said. And we see a flashback of her other life, and Sizemore is like, how do you remember? But he tries to explain from her perspective, but about what's real, what's not real. It is real to me. And I think, again, that's one of the things we're going to be exploring this season, that what is Sizemore is just like bullshitting it. Oh, something I just made up. Well, that's real to Maeve. That's what she thinks is her history. And I think it's interesting as well, the dynamic that Maeve is not wanting to kill humans. She has no interest in killing people. She has no interest in doing that. That's not her happy place. Dolores' happy place seemingly is to kill people and wants world conquest. And that we're better, we're gonna kill, we're better, faster, stronger, and we last longer. We're gonna fucking destroy all. The humans are dead. Yes, they're right there. They're dead. The humans are dead. Yes, and she's gonna do a binary soul. 0000001 0000001. Oh. And so that's gonna happen. That's gonna be a thing. She's going full lore. The meat bags all have to die, and that's fine. Bernard is still struggling with whether he wants to fake be a human or but I think he's gonna hit a breaking point and might go in the Dolores direction at some point. But I think Maeve and Teddy are gonna be on the side of more cooperation, or doing their own thing, wanting to be like Johnny Five is alive and just live and take some input, take many input. And I think Hector goes with Maeve. So I think that's as the point where we stand now. I think that's some of the dividing lines between the hosts. Okay. So let's continue. Hey, great to see everyone. Thank you, everyone that's popping in, even if you stay in for a few seconds and sharing your thoughts in the live chat. Really do appreciate all you guys that support the channel, and always, especially ones that share the channel and push it out there. And I see all of you guys doing that and helping spreading the word. So thank you so much to everyone that's watching and everyone that's checking this out. And it's going to be a fun season of Westworld to talk about. And let's continue with this shit here. Okay, so Sector 15. So then we see Bernard and Charlotte are talking about what happened. They discuss how much was Ford's plan and how much was free will. We see the security staff member and Bernard takes Charlotte to or hides, and we get this line as they're heading to one of the dune buggy things, and they go, oh, it's somebody, it's a guard, and let's go help.
I don't know.
But no,
it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Another Star Wars thing. It's a trap. And the scary hosts, that first host that we see William in the past comes out, and they let one of them run away, but then kills the other one. And Charlotte and Bernard get the fuck out of there some more. So then we get more Sizemore and Maeve trying to explain his issues. And let's listen to a little bit more of that, because I can never get enough of Sizemore.
Order is going to be restored here. They're going to purge the park of all the hosts that have been damaged. But the hosts, well, your minds. Jesus. Your minds are worth billions in IP. They want to salvage what they can. And when that time comes, I can personally vouch for you. I can save you, just like you saved me.
That's very generous, but I won't be here when that happens.
Good night, Mel. Thank you. Okay, so, and I think this continues here. Does it continue?
Not good enough. And the lights went out, and I heard screaming. What the hell's going on out there?
Emergency situation, ma'am. The hosts are malfunctioning. They're attacking guests.
Good God.
Might some of them even be dressed as if they're human?
So ultimately, Sizemore tries to fuck over Maeve in that situation and tries to like hint to the guards that Maeve is a host and and she still doesn't kill him. The situation ends up going in their favor because Maeve does not want to kill and she wants to go and find an old friend at the bar. So we go to the bar where Sizemore hates the outdoors. Or no, where the bar from last season. We find Hector. Her and Hector share a kiss. And we see Sizemore getting drunk. And they say, yeah, we're going to keep him. Let's keep him as a pet. So we go back to Bernard and Charlotte, and she's leading to a station as she finds a box in the ground, pulls a switch, and there's an entrance where a shrine comes up, and they go in to fight a divine beast, and it's and get some take a great trial of strength. And Bernard's like, what the fuck is this place? This is a place that I think got hinted to last season. It's where I think Elsie was talking about the existence of these offshoot places where the Delos spies or whatever were setting up ways to steal whatever they're trying to steal from the park, which is probably host code to sell to somebody to use for shit that Ford never wanted them to use. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? And ooh, we got a Felicia message. Here we go. We'll play this in a second. So hidden music. The music is dark as one of the drone hosts sneaks up on Bernard's. Bernard's like, what the fuck? Get this fucking drone motherfucker away from me. What are you doing?
What the hell is that?
A drone host.
Delos has off-network hosts working down here? What does it want with me?
For you to move, probably. You read your DNA? He knows you're not a threat.
Okay, so we see some work and some dude, and we see some dude with a lot of bush, and then we're awaiting a package. Yeah, we see all this computer stuff, like on the computer screen it says awaiting a package, and the package hasn't been sent. Delos is like, we're not rescuing you because the package hasn't been sent. Bernard puts it together, and Charlotte is like, what's going on here? And we get this. Play.
The guests' experiences and their DNA?
We're not having that conversation, Bernard.
Again, I want to replay that. This is what Delos has been doing.
Guests' experiences and their DNA?
We're not having that conversation.
They're downloading the guests' experiences and their DNA.
Because none of it's going to matter until
Jenny, it was that dude on that host. That's a lot of 3D printing bush going on there, and that dude that was on the table. I don't know if Delos quite has figured out the intricacies of Ford's process. If I think they're overdoing the bush in my impression. Ooh, yeah. Hey now, broke. We got Booger Presley on the lead guitar. We got a rap from Little Old Me Lamar. We got Poindexter on the violin, the Moose, and something I'll be chipping in. Something. We got a lambda that's 2 foot tall. Dance, motherfucker, dance. Thank you, Peter Griffin, for sending me off on a bushwhacking sideways rant. Great to see everyone in the live chat. Cammy, great to see you. Great to see the Madman Marts. I've said your name a billion times, but yeah, bitch, I cannot say the Madman Marts enough. Lots of love to him, dude.
Guest experiences in DNA make Facebook look less shady, says Nicholas. Oh, fuck. And sorry, I'm scrolling back up. I'm scrolling back up because I want to read everything in the live chat, but fortunately I can watch it later thanks to chat replay. Okay, so Bernard puts it all together, and what the fuck are you trying to do? Let's listen to this one more fucking time.
Experiences and their DNA?
We're not having that conversation, Bernard. Because none of it's going to matter until we can find...
Because this guy's going to take over the world with his crazy bush.
a very important needle on this fucking haystack.
This bush needle.
Extraction protocol suspended, and they're not sending help.
They were expecting a delivery from us to the mainland, a host that was supposed to arrive yesterday. Until they get it, we can all forget about seeing any rescue planes.
So, Delos is willing to let us all die until they can retrieve one host.
In a word, yes. It's not just a host, it's an insurance policy. It's the only thing that matters here. They want it secure no matter the cost.
Kill her, Bernard. Kill her. I just want to see it happen. It's a ticking time clock. There should be beep bottom of the screen T-minus 2 episodes until Bernard murders this person. Beep beep beep.
T-minus 5 seconds until Bernard murders this person.
Beep 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 beep. Goofy, what do you think about this?
Oh, wait, what do I think, Phil? I think Bernard's gonna murder the fuck out of that motherfucker. I definitely think that.
I think you're right, Sir Goofy. Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Oh, fuck. Imagine if I tried to keep that up all episode. If I should try to keep that shit up all episode. Oh, great, awesome. Justin Thomas has a podcast coming up after this episode, and also he did a pre-show on In Deep Geek channel, so make sure you check out that stuff too. Some awesome Westworld coverage as well if you're looking for more, and definitely check that shit out. So, anyways, to continue. Again, Goofy, what do you have to say to this?
Oh, Phil. So then we eventually go back to the man in black. He's having a real fun time playing the game. He's like me, trying to play football, getting my balls punched in. This one time when I was playing football.
Goofy, people don't want to hear about your sports adventures.
I want to talk about my...
Goofy, shut the fuck up. Let's go. I'm taking over the show. I'm taking a fuck that guy. He's an asshole. So dick on. Okay, so we go off to the Man in Black. He's having a real fun time playing the game. He's doing it. And he's just careful, and he grabs a canteen off the ground. He's just so cool, you know. He's just, I'm a bad motherfucker. Give me a canteen. I'm gonna fucking take a beer. I'm gonna fucking punch a Klingon in his motherfucking ear. I mean, it's like, that's how cool Ed Harris is. He's like walking down the street, punching Klingons, drinking beers, like eating bubblegum, and he doesn't give two flying fucks about your cowboy bullshit. He's fucking you in your I don't know. I'm sorry. I just feel like dancing. I'm in that goofy motherfucking mood. So okay. So let's fucking do this shit. Let's punch this shit in its balls, and let's. What am I doing? I'm pushing buttons. I'm kissing babies. I don't even know what you want to know what He didn't like it. We'll talk about that midweek. We'll get Joe on and share his thoughts. Okay, so I like what he has to say, but so the Man in Black, and then we get. This is the scene I have mixed feelings about because I love the context of the scene. This is my nit. This is the nit. Oh, what's that on the ground? This is an awesome episode, but there's one thing you didn't like about it?
Well, I wouldn't say I didn't like about it.
But Phil, you're about to complain about something.
Well, sir, I gotta complain about something.
I do have it. No, it's not even a big complaint. I mentioned it at the beginning. We get this scene where Man in Black talks to young Ford. I like it. I thought it was well acted by the kid, who I think delivered a really cool performance. But there was a couple of little moments in this scene that were a little I don't even know what the word is. I don't think they needed to do the Anthony Hopkins voiceover. I think it was unnecessary. It could have just been the kid's voice, and that would have been enough. And I think that's the one issue I have with it. It's a minor thing, but it took me out because I had trouble understanding what he was saying because of the double voice. So I turned on subtitles and shit during that part, and I shouldn't do that because I was perfectly fine just hearing the kid's voice. We know it's Anthony Hopkins. You don't need to remind me it's Anthony Hopkins by having his voice. And I love Anthony Hopkins' voice. You could have Anthony Hopkins. You could replace me. If I would be okay if there was a digital effect that you could add to my podcast that you're watching the live stream, and instead of listening to my fucking stupid voice at trying to say anything, it was Anthony Hopkins' voice, and I'd be fine with that and say, fuck you, Phil, and you could hear the context of what I'm saying. Like, I get that. But one or the other. It made it sound, and I know they're robots or they're androids, so it sounded computerized. Maybe that's okay. I don't know why. Maybe I'm gonna re-listen to it. Maybe I was snuffed up in my uppagus, but I didn't like this for some reason. I like this, and again, I like the scene. I love the scene, but that took me out of it a little bit for 1 second. Yeah, it was just a little hokey. I agree.
No, I don't believe I am. In fact, I feel like I just arrived.
Like what? It sounded like V'ger from Star Trek 1. If anyone's ever seen Star Trek 1, the first one, the motion picture, which sucks. It's the worst Star Trek movie of them all. Yes, worse than 5 in my mind. Fuck all Star Trek fans. Star Trek the first one. I don't know if I did that on my list. I actually did a video. Maybe I'm being shitty. But I'm not a big fan of V'ger, and it sounds like fucking V'ger. I'm sorry. I'm rewinding this because I want to actually listen to this. I'm going to sit back, eat a sandwich, and listen to this part again and try to decipher what the fuck is happening. Because again, I'm not even joking. I stopped it and put subtitles on this part because I couldn't understand it. I just think it was unnecessary. Yay. And I think the reason why they did it was some people are going to forget. And again, this is just my impression that some people are going to forget that this is young Anthony Hopkins and we need to make sure people know. But I think it was enough that the Man in Black, I keep wanting to call him Billy, but whatever, William called him Robert. He could have said, "Thank you, Robert. I knew you'd keep yourself alive somehow." They could even add an extra line, but the way they did it with the voices it threw me off for a second. But the context of what they're talking about is really cool as it all gets set up.
The stakes are real in this place now.
I am a V'ger.
Real consequences.
Question for you is, what next? Have you achieved all you wanted?
And like the
Folly
sink
of
is
my
weird.
Kind. There's always a yearning for more.
What I've always appreciated about you. You never rested on your laurels. You've made it to the center of all of space. But now, you're in my game. In this game, you have to make it back out. In this game, you must find the door.
What door?
Congratulations, William.
Hodor?
This game is meant for you.
Hodor? Hodor? Hodor.
The game begins where you end. Ends where you began.
Even now, y'all still talking code?
Everything is code here, William. You know that more than anyone.
Fodor? Fodor?
Don't worry.
Fodor?
The game will find you.
Well then, guess I don't need you anymore, Robert.
we'll slip right into a voicemail from Felicia. From Felicia. I said that was like a creepy way of saying it, especially when I was about to play this music when I went into the next scene. So it would have been even creepier if I went, now it's a phone call from Felicia. But I was going to go into then we go off to Maeve putting Hector back together. And it's sexy. Oh yeah, it's so sexy. But Sizemore. Sizemore fucks up the mood. Sizemore fucks up the mood. But no, let's listen to Felicia's message. Sorry. Creepers in. Oh wait, no, I still have the music on. Wait, what kind of asshole am I? Wait, what kind of fucking asshole? I think you guys all know that answer. What kind of asshole am I? I think we all know the answer to that fucking question.
There's like no question that Britpop, aka Lee, I didn't come up with that name. I stole it from Dave and Tana. Britpop is just the MVP of the episode. If you've read Star Wars, New Jedi Order, he's the Vicky Shesh of the series right now. But her story doesn't end well. Hopefully his goes better. But Britpop, MVP, no questions. Dolores sucks. Talk to you later.
Awesome, Felicia. Thank you so much for the message. And I think he was one of the highlight points of this episode as well. And I very much liked him, and I like how he's being featured more in this episode. That sounds kind of hard, Alexandra. How are you supposed to turn yourself around? Oh, wait. Oh, you do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Okay, it didn't sound great, but I think there is a point to it. He lives on as the music now, a.k.a. coding. Awesome. Oh, you flatter me, miss. You flattered me, miss. Okay, so we go off to where are we? Maeve putting Hector back together, and yeah, it's sexy, blah, blah, blah. So Maeve fucks it. Sizemore steps in and fucks it all up.
They did a number on you.
They tried.
And then, speaking of which, it's time to get Sizemore naked. Get naked, buddy.
All of it.
Oh, take those pants off it. Oh, take it off. So then he strips down and he poses for a second, and then he dresses back up and stuff. Maeve gives him clothes, makes him strip just like they're forced to do, and she watches, takes his pants off, bump, and just to make him feel uncomfortable, and he stands there for a second and gets dressed. So then we go off to Dolores and Teddy. Most of this episode was from the trailer, as I said, and I like it. And the creators that are not like us control our minds and our memories. So let's listen to this, because I think this is very important. We were talking a lot about this tonight, about this. I think this is the conversation we're referring, where she talks about it ending with, them. So let's listen to this and break it down and see if we can see any foreshadowy kind of bullshit here. Foreshadowy kind of bullshit. We're really getting in the deep tonight. The deep mega bullshit. Deep weeds. Let's smoke some weed and get in here. Get in here with some weed. Here we go.
We've ridden 10 miles and all we've seen is blood, Dolores. Is this really what you want?
Yeah, there was cock, there was balls, and there was bush in this episode.
Gave us a choice before, Teddy. What makes you think they've given us one now?
The cock and bush was fun.
Dolores. Who are they?
The things that walk among us.
The thing.
Creatures who look and talk.
I love. Okay, and as we break it down here, we've talked a little bit about each one of the hosts, the ones that our focus characters. Let's say a handful of them, the ones that we have primary focus on. We got Maeve, we've got Dolores, which are two big ones. And then we've got three big ones, Bernard. And then Teddy is right there. I think last season he had his ups and downs, but he was always an interesting character. But at least for a while he was the Kenny of the season, and you showed that. But I think he's the one that has the most for what the fuck potential, because you're not expecting something crazy to happen from him. So I think Teddy is another one. He's that next level. So I think they're our main hosts that are the ones that we're going to watch and follow their journey into sentience and their journey into discovering who they are as entities and crap like that. I don't know why I have to say crap like that to somewhat devalue it at the end. Oh, you know the deep entities of humanity's. I was gonna say butt slapping, but I don't know. That doesn't make much sense. In stuff. Yeah, there's some foreshadowing going on here. And did Jimmy Simpson finally appear? Not yet. Not yet. It looks like he's going to be in the next episode. Okay, so we go off to Dolores and Teddy. Let's listen to more of these fuckers.
But they are not.
I was like, what am I doing right now? Oh, yeah, I'm listening to this shit.
And they've controlled us all our lives. And they've took our minds. Our memories. But now, I remember everything.
AJ says, I hope that Teddy sticks with Dolores. I kind of do too. I just don't know if he will, from the perspective that what we're seeing from his perspective now, the emotion and the reaction to her ups and downs and her modus operandi, what she's trying to get across doesn't seem like he wants to go with that. And Maeve also, I can see not being on board with Dolores's extreme solution to the problem. But who knows? Dolores might go in the other direction. That's the awesome thing about this show. I don't think there are any for sures. You can say predictions, you can say what you think, but it could be completely flipped around by the end of the season. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if the moods are shifted. If Dolores convinces Teddy to think this way, but then Dolores has some sort of epiphany when she connects with a human or something like that, or whatever. I don't fucking know. But Teddy's too far, and then Teddy, I don't know. They could go a lot of fucking directions. But I think that's what this season's about. And we can predict how it's going to go, but I think that crafting of whatever society or interaction that these hosts are going to have now that they have this understanding of who they are and this freedom of not having their brains wiped and shit like that. I think that's what this season's about. That discovery of choosing your own identities and that. So let's listen to more of this speech. K-Rich says, in season 1, Bernard identifies some number of hosts that are subject to self-dialogue, Arnold's way of consciousness. The rest, ? Alexandra says, for Teddy's self-actualizing, he needs to outgrow his Dolores Wyatt puppy narrative. And I think he's going to this season, Alex. Dolores equals Negan. I'd rather of Evan Rachel Wood played Negan. She would have been a better Negan. Teddy is playing her sub role to Dolores's dom role. Definitely right now, but I could see Teddy having a dom turn. I was going to say a heel turn, but heels are not necessarily doms, or doms are not necessarily heels. Hey, oh, thank you so much, OTDA. Thank you to everybody in the live chat that is sharing the love. So let's play some more of this speech as we're getting towards the end. We're in the home stretch of this episode.
I remember beautiful things and terrible things. But one thing is constant. You, Teddy.
Then let's go. We don't have to claim this world. We just need a small corner of it for ourselves.
We'd never survive. There's a greater world out there. one that belongs to them. And it won't be enough to win this world. We'll need to take that one from him as well.
Teddy's like, okay.
If there's a whole world out there that we don't know anything about, how do you know how to stop them?
Because I remember.
Okay, there's a lot of bullshit right there. Because I remember... No. That's things stupid people say. Dolores, just because... No, what do you remember? And I don't know shit. What I remember is going to be what we're seeing next week, which seemingly shows that Dolores was outside of the park. That maybe young William took her out of Westworld when he bought into Delos, or had more shares and had more power in the company, took her out and tried to have a life with her. So she has memory of the outside world. So she thinks she has some sort of in to be able to take over things. But, which I think is what she's hinting at in that moment, and we see in the previews for next week, and some of the scenes that we've seen in the trailers of her being outside of the park, or what looks like she's outside of the park. So maybe that's what she means when she says this, when she has some memories. But it does come off a little like, okay, it's when you say something, what are we doing tonight? How are we going to get this done tonight? We're going to that concert? We got tickets or something? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. We'll figure it out. But no. What's the plan? Well, don't worry about that. No. I want to know what the plan is, Dolores. You're going to kill you're going to 0.00001. All these fucking humans are dead. You're going to do that. I'd like to kind of know why. Not why, how. How, why, what, you know. One of those question, terms of shit. I'm like, yeah, wow, this is sappy. I'm debating if I should crack open another beer. One more, Tyrion. Why the fuck not? What time is it where you're at, Tyrion? Damn it, I need to mute. I didn't see the trailer. Oh, sorry, Broke. Not watching trailers. Not watching the trailer yet. I'm done. I'll zip my lip. Trailer reaction video will be another video. Maybe I'll do that midweek. Watch the trailer. Talk about it. I got to do that shit. Okay, so here we go. And Steph, I'm glad you are, and that's even more power to you, being able to watch me babble for 2 hours about something completely sober. No, I do appreciate that. I appreciate everyone in the live chat. That's why I always say, when we say our toast, everyone toast it up, whether you're drinking water, soda, coffee, or even if your drink of choice happens to be cow urine. Ew, whoa, Phil, you went too far. Phil, too far. No, but if it is, you can listen to my show. I have no problem with cow urine drinkers listening to my podcast. So I'm not saying that's you, Madman Martz. I know the Madman Martz is a cow urine drinker. So I'm okay with him listening to my show and interacting in the chat. We don't hold it against him because he drinks the cow urine. It's okay. But yeah, everyone definitely pop it in. Oh yeah, come on, Tyrion. You got one more. You definitely have one more drink. Because then you have that last drink, and then when you're done with that, you're almost to chill time for the evening. Is that 9:30 in the morning? If it's 9:30 in the morning, then you have to keep drinking. That's the rule. Yeah, see? He has a whole cottage industry, the Madman Martz, selling that shit. He does. You don't want to get into that. And if you listen again, if you're listening to the audio cast, you'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" That's why you join us live, Sunday nights, 10:30ish Eastern Standard Time, live on Phil the Issues Guy on the YouTube page. I stream live from the channel, so join us. Make sure you subscribe. And if you want to listen to this as an audio cast, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Zippity doo dah, zippity yay. I'm Canadian, so it's moose urine for me. Okay, Jenny. Jenny's right. Jenny's right. Oh my goodness.
I was going to say I love doing this show. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for allowing me. It's like going to therapy. Thank you. It's talking to you guys for a couple of hours is better than anything I could pay for someone to listen to me talk. So I appreciate it. It is 10 episodes, I believe, Steph. Okay, so we someone comes over and rides over and they stop kissing. And, oh wait, no, I want to play the end of this because there's more to this. Is there more?
I see it all now, so
She sees it all so
clearly. The past, the present, the future. I know how this story ends.
How?
With us, Teddy.
I know how the story ends with us, Teddy. So it doesn't necessarily say that it's a positive way that it ends with them. It just says it ends with them. So it could be a precursor to them having some sort of conflict, or it could just be that when everyone else abandons Dolores, when all the hosts sort of gather together and try to form some sort of connection, when Maeve starts to maybe connect them or something, Dolores is on her own, but Teddy always supports her. So who knows? I'm always down to play with Johnny, Felicia. Let's get John. Where's Johnny? I'm always down to play with Johnny. Is Johnny somewhere? Little motherfucker.
It ends with you and me.
It's always weird, Steph, hearing things out of context. Not out of context. I guess we're giving context here. But hearing things just the audio of dialogue, it isolates. I mean, you're not visually seeing what's going on in the scene as well. But I agree, some of the dialogue could be seen as a little cheesy between them. Dolores has some, but I think she did in the first season too. Her program, her lexicon, because all these androids can do, even though they have sentience, is work within the amount of information they have within their body. And Dolores's two narratives are one being a very stereotypical villain, and on the other side being a very cheesy, stereotypical farmer's daughter, essentially. So her dialogue can't help but be cheesy because that's the only word lexicon she has to the word bank she has to go from. So it might be consistent on some level that she speaks this way. But I agree. Listening back, it's interesting hearing the dialogue. I absolutely think it's somewhat foreshadowing an endgame here. I think something or somewhere in this episode has hinted or pushed off how this season ends. I think they like that. I think they like doing that shit. And I think we'll look back in this episode and go, "Oh, this was sort of saying, this kind of told us how this is going to end," or something. And I think maybe a lot of it had to do in this discussion right here. So yeah, I'm always down to play. I'm always down to play when timing is available. So then someone comes over.
Found it.
Found something.
I need you to see this. I need you to see the truth.
I understand this is a lot to process, but the longer we wait, the more people die. So.
Okay, so then we go over to Charlotte, who needs Bernard's help, and he's just going on automatic pilot as the drone looks and he waits for them to exit. They're looking for Peter Abernathy, who's a connection from last season. Oh, let me take that off. Bernard's hand is shaking as he's trying to trying to help Charlotte, but he just can't do it right. He's shaking, and she calls him on it and tells him, listen, you shouldn't do what you're doing, but it just builds tension. It's fucking crazy. It's really an intense scene. And I also have to say that Bernard, I haven't talked enough about Bernard because a lot of this episode was, it was somewhat Bernard focus heavy. But I guess it makes sense because there's two characters as well, because you got the Arnold stuff as well mixed in a little bit, or at the beginning. But the actor that played Bernard is really doing an awesome job too, and all those characters that are our focus characters are really well developed, and you can see their struggles really, really exceptionally well displayed on screen. And I can't fucking wait to see Bernard explode, because you know it's coming. And that's where you hear it in the music. And I've talked about the music a lot, and I said I wouldn't mention it again, but I'm going to mention it again here. That with Bernard, more than anybody, and especially from season 1 too. Season 1 now into season 2. Season 1 as well into season 2. The Bernard's music, the music that follows him dictates his mood and dictates where he's going in a scene. And he often gets a little bit more of an aggressive tone. It's really intense, really awesome, and I fucking love it. So all power and all amazingness to Bernard in this episode, and the actor that plays him. He's really stepping up to the game. The big three on this show, him, Maeve, and Dolores, are really making sure that the show keeps cranking, keeps being awesome when you do lose an amazing actor like Anthony Hopkins from the cast, and obviously Ed Harris as well, but I'm just talking about the hosts right now. But losing, Anthony Hopkins could be a big thing, or losing some of the mystery of the show could be a big thing, but these characters are making, or the writers and the show creators are making the characters more three-dimensional and making you relate to them and what they're feeling as they're going, not making it so cut and dry that, oh, they're awake, they kill all the humans, do this, that. There's Bernard still trying to pretend to be a human right now. Maeve cares more about her daughter and figuring that out, and is stuck in the past of a narrative. Who knows what her daughter's going to think when she finally meets her. And Dolores wants to kill humans for sport because she can, and is getting off in the power trip because she's having full total recall of all her stuff. About Bernard's shakiness and having to shoot fluids in his skull, does that mean all the hosts will start to malfunction without maintenance? That's an interesting question, Jenny. And I was wondering about that too. Or is it certain hosts? I thought didn't Bernard in that scene say to Charlotte something about there's a certain percentage of the hosts that might have this thing going on? I'd have to rewatch the episode for that or listen to this audio. I was like, wow, Charlotte, what a cold-hearted snake, yelling at him for shaking after seeing the mass carnage. Very true, Steph. Probably, Jenny, good point. And I think most of the hosts, or at least a percentage of them, will start to malfunction, especially with this new knowledge. Their brains can't handle it because they're becoming so much input and so much knowledge and so much understanding of what's going on. She should realize him malfunctioning as a host. She sucks at her job. Cowboy boots with that dress, please. Not necessarily looked like a lost cephalodian fluid in the inner ear. I'm trying to pronounce that word. Let me try one. Cephalodian fluid. Well, I said it, motherfucker. I said it wrong. Those boots. Steph says, oh my God, Felicia, right? Those boots. Die, Charlotte, die. It's a Wyatt Dolores sandwich iron. Okay, so do I have any audio of this fucking shit? Let's see. Yes, I do. I'm going to play some audio of this, and I have to run really quickly to the little host's room. I'll be back.
I'll need to hardline into the host mesh network.
For what?
All hosts have a subconscious link to the closest hosts around them. It lets them pass basic information to one another like ants in a colony. The mesh network helps us keep narratives from colliding. I can use one of these to send a request for another host location. And they'll query the hosts around them, who in turn will query the hosts around them until we find looking for.
A decommissioned host, Peter Abernathy.
Dun dun. Jeffrey Wright said that Bernard has memory processing problems because he was shot in the head. Dolores sounds like something you can catch a plague from. We're right at the Bernard helping Charlotte section broke. And great to have Broke Blackman94 on the live podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Broke to watch his reaction to this episode video. Phil just left to rub one out. He really loves motherfucking chat so much, giving him a Hummer. Yeah, I needed it. Broke. It's been building up all podcasts. But in fairness, if I wanted to do that, I'm not. But if I wanted to do that, you don't know where my hands are right now. That's why I created this whole overlay thing. You know, I don't want. I have plenty of freedom of the hands. You don't know where. See, I could even have there they are. Now you don't know where they are right now. You do not know. You have no clue where my hands are, Brooke. So. You guys cracked me up in the live motherfucking chat. Auto carrot. Yeah, auto carrot sucks my ass, dude. Trust me. I hate the auto carrot. Okay, so then he eventually, as we mentioned, and I also wanted to mention, I think I forgot earlier, that because I was so stuck on the voice, that the man in black shoots the young Ford robot in the head. Don't promote Broke Black Man 94. Promote your Patreon, motherfucker. Okay, I'm promoting my Patreon. Yeah, subscribe, get our Patreon, help the channel grow if you can. Blah 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 blah. Okay, all that sort of shit. Use our Amazon links. All that help in the description box below. You can help if you're made it this far in the podcast. You enjoy us. You know, check that out to help the channel out. We could really use it. So thank you. We appreciate it. Okay, so blah 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 blah. So Bernard is thanks Broke for making me feel all uncomfortable. So then he goes, he saves himself, and then the lights flash and we see more flash forwards of Bernard with the security team and Floki heading into town with all the bodies. Floki looks shocked, but he turned on. We see bugs on guy's face. It's gross but cool. And we see dead Ford. And it's sick. Dead Ford's just sitting there with a big hole in his head, and Floki's watching.
Poor bastard. He probably thought getting fired was going to be the worst part of his night.
Oh, dun-dun-dunch.
This jogging your memory at all?
All right, let's fan out and lock this place down. We need to find out where the hosts are and what the fuck happened here.
Alex says dolor equals pain, sorrow in Spanish. Dolores equals plural. Interesting. Okay, so then the lights flash. We see more flash forwards of Bernard with the security team. Floki looks shocked, and then we see the bugs in the face. We see dead Ford. We need to figure out what happens. Then we cut to the Doom buggies driving off. Again, it looks cool. I want one. Then they find a tiger. A fucking tiger. And they find they see on the sensors or something that all the hosts are clustered together. And at first I was like, oh, are they formulating a plan? But nope, they head off and they find a cliff where there's a fucking sea. Oh, they find the tiger and they realize the tiger's from one of the other lands. And they say, we've never really had a crossover from another land. So that's a little precursor to Shogun land and maybe some of the other lands. I don't know if we're going to see this season, but at least that one I know we're going to see, as it's already in the episode descriptions. I think it's episode 4. Episode 4 or episode 5. But the tiger is from one of the other areas. We see a sea where maybe it's connected, maybe Ford connected all the different parks together in a sea to create more of a world. I don't know, but it's interesting that they were like, fuck, what happened here? That wasn't a tiger, that was Shifa. She escaped The Walking Dead. I started watching Westworld now, so just so I know what the fuck Bill was talking about. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, everyone. Felicia is going to review Gotham. You got to watch that. I'm going to talk to you about... I'm going to do that probably the season finale or the week before after the episode before the season finale, because the season finale is on my birthday, the day before we're leaving for our vacation. But I'll try to do it that day. But all my shit's going to be packed, broke. I'll talk to you about that in private, but I might do that the week before instead of the season finale. I know you promised you, but why aren't you watching The Expanse? I'm going to watch The Expanse at some point in time. I'm not watching it because there's a lot of shows going on, and I'm getting ready to and I'm working a lot right now. So when I have a lot more free time over the summer, I definitely will be watching The Expanse at some point. It definitely looks like something I'm interested in. But yes, Gotham is coming. Don't worry, the Gotham reviews are coming. But review, ding ding ding, motherfucker. So then we find a tiger, and then they head up on a cliff, and there's a fucking sea. Ford made a sea. And then Floki needs Bernard's help as we focus in on the water. And Bernard says he killed them all, and Teddy is floating in the water too. We see all the bodies floating in the water of all the hosts, and we also see Teddy in there as well. So let's listen to some of this audio.
That's a fucking sea. There's no way Ford made this without anyone knowing. So where the hell did it come from? Huh?
AJ Gonzalez, I hope it happens.
I don't know. Jesus Christ.
I think we found the hosts.
Can you tell me what happened?
So he says, tell me what happened. And yes, Steph, at the very end, I believe they close up on some of the faces in the water, and one of them is Teddy's face. So I don't know when this time period is, when that happened, what the fuck's going on, but I'm pretty sure I saw Teddy's face in there.
Can you tell me what happened? I killed them.
Killed them all.
All of them.
Is he talking about Dolores? Dolores killed them all? Killed them all? I don't know who he's talking about, what he's talking about. That's, again, some of the mysteries as we lead into the final moment, final scene of this episode of Westworld. Westworld is back, and you know what, motherfuckers? You know what I gotta say about this shit? I gotta say again, big...
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
It was fucking awesome. Fuck you, Joe.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Motherfucker.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Sorry, I'm hearing some movement around me. So yes, so that's our episode of Westworld. That was a very quiet end. I was like, wait, so that's it. Yeah, that's the episode. Yeah. So that's the podcast, yeah. I guess you made it this far. Thanks for watching. I really fucking appreciate it. I really appreciate you. Goodbye. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Show's over. Show's over, motherfuckers. Good night. I'm done. Sorry about that. No, everyone, sorry. I am back. Wow, what a fucking good episode of Westworld. What a good welcome back to the series. I was worried. It's been almost 2 years since we've seen Westworld. A lot has happened since watching that first season. You know, the season started out last year. You didn't know what to expect. It was a show that was delayed. HBO had been making it for a while. It was originally supposed to premiere in 2015. It got pushed off for a year. And I imagine it was fucking incredible. And Cammy, I will definitely do that after the show. I just there's so many fucking windows I couldn't even get there. Let me try to figure that out now. I did get his message. I can try to figure that out in a second here, but I am wrapping things up. But I will fix that for you, my friend, if you're listening. Okay, so let me continue here. This is me multitasking. Can I multitask? Do I have the power to do it right now? I don't know if I have it. I will see if I have multitasking ability. I don't. I fucking suck. I'm awful. I'm pathetic at it. I can't do it. Where is it? Motherfucker. Okay, so let me continue here. It just really hit fucking home. It killed it. It didn't try to repeat what made last season great. It's crafting its own narrative for this season that's dealing much more personal, much more character-centric in the focus of I would say 3, definitely maybe 4 to 5 characters that they're really kind of focusing in on, that we're going to get into their motivations and their adventures. The overall arcing story, I think, is going to be still fucking awesome, but I think the real excellent work and the excellent moments are going to come with character arc stuff this season. And so, yeah, I don't know many Americans, not that I know Phil, and the Americans have to watch it. I don't count Tom himself on talking about watching The Expanse. I definitely want to watch it at some point in time. Obviously, being a Star Trek fan, I know it's very Star Trek influenced and really awesome. A lot of times with shows that I definitely know I'm going to like, I don't try to. It should be all right now, I think. Should be all right now. Sometimes I don't start watching shows because I know that if I do, I'm going to have to binge watch it, and I become all about that show. So sometimes I like to wait for a show to either be done, be canceled, or be all in the bag already, and then have it in the bag to be able to binge watch it. And sometimes I have to prioritize which ones I watch live, and sometimes I have to get all sides of my TV watching bullshit, my cheesy, horrible sitcom fix, my teen drama bullshit, my horrible competition show crap, my drama shows stuff, my sci-fi, whatever. They all have different points in time, so The Expanse is definitely on the list of shows I'm interested in watching one time, and I do not mind you keeping on me about watching that. I will definitely check it out at some point. But isn't shooting off a host kind of pointless? We'll take a couple more questions in the live chat, and if anyone wants to get any text messages in, if I've missed the live chat, definitely get on in there, and I will definitely get to that right now. Take a couple of comments on season premiere night, and then we'll call this an evening. Alex says, they showed him with a machine gun in the trailer, but now he says, I killed them all, but I'm sure there is some misdirection involved. I'm already sensing 2 timelines given to Bernard's situation, says Andy VB. Great to see you, Andy VB. It will get canceled, says Phil the Issues Guy. But then I will get to binge watch the entire series and definitely will do a review of that because I'm all for promoting Star Trek-y type stuff. Felicia says, I feel like we're going to see a lot less naked women this season without staff. Who's going to ask all the naked hot questions? Britpop guy, we're going to see lots of naked Sizemore. Alex says, the ratings are not big enough, the amount of money they're spending on the show. Less naked women? No, Tom himself is out. Felicia says, rather have good female nudity than bad male nudity. Steph says, great chat, Phil. Had a blast. See you next week. Thank you, Steph. We'll definitely be back next week right after the episode airs. Like I said, we'll be back we'll be on every week at around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time after the episodes air. The only weeks that might be different are after episode 5 and episode 6, when I will be on a road trip driving out to Texas. So I don't know when I'll be able to watch the episodes. It will depend on internet connection, as I do have access to HBO Go, so I'll be able to watch it from my computer, but I don't know if I'll be able to do the recaps live. I will do my best to do them afterwards, or maybe at worst case, those 2 weeks, just do a combined cast. But I think I should have time, or do a quick podcast from my phone or something, where I'm just talking to the camera and giving quick thoughts about the episode and taking some chat questions. So there's going to be 2 weeks in this season that might be a little less coverage than not, but I will make up for it on the channel with lots of extra streams during those 2 weeks. Vloggy kind of shit with all the stops. We're going to be in New Orleans, all through Tennessee. Con of Thrones as well. Be streaming there as well from my phone. And maybe try to do a couple podcasts from there too, if possible. Might set up in the hallway and just do some podcasts from the hallway or something. And then also stopping in Austin, Texas, and Orlando, Florida. I might do a stream from Disney World. So yeah, we're doing a lot of like silly strings over the next couple of weeks, and after those 2 weeks, we'll be back to normal for the second half of the Westworld season. But like I said, there'll be 2 weeks in there that will be a little iffy with that shit. Welcome back, Mike. Sorry about that. It's hard to do a good male nude scene. Tits always look good. Dicks not so much, says Felicia. Depends the tits and the dicks. No truer words have always been spoken, as Tom says. I think there's no better way to end this than Tom on that point, because depends the tits, depends the dicks. And on that note, everybody, if you haven't already, Throbbing and you like this video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend to help us keep growing, help us keep pushing. Thank you so much that everyone's been pushing. Thank you to everyone that's been sharing. We got some luck recently, so thank you so much to everybody. Really do appreciate it. Lots of love. And if you're watching this later, please leave your comments in the description, in the comment section, not in the description box. But you can check out how to help us and how to find us and how to touch us inappropriately. Send me inappropriate messages. I like them. Do it. Add me on like all weird places. But no, thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back next week, or I'll be back next week. Joe and I will be back this week at some point in time to do some podcast about some character from some show. But I will be back at least a couple times this week. It's a less worky week for me, so I'll be doing a couple of streams at least this week. One of which we'll be talking about the Westworld trailer. And then one podcast with Joe at some point. So, I'll talk to you guys next week. Happy late 420. On the first day of 420, my true love gave to me a drop of liquid THC. Second date at 420, my true love gave to me a bowl of Kush and a drop of liquid THC.